What's up, everybody? I'm Terrell.
I'm Tierra Leanne.
And I'm Tawan.
And you're about to be
Rewired.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about how we can be our own biggest haters sometimes. We can stand in our way sometimes, and how to avoid those self-sabotaging behaviors. Especially in my community, I hear a lot of excuse making and a lot of, blaming of others. And I feel like when that's what you're exposed to and that's what you kind of see growing up, you fall into that pattern of behavior without realizing it. And then, you don't know how to correct those behaviors. So I think sometimes conversations like this is important.
What behaviors exactly, like specifically, do you mean? Like blaming others?
Man.
Give me an example of blaming others that you do as a kid that kind of translated into adult behavior.
I was just about to go to the kid because my background is working with kids in inner city communities, go into the home. I've been into the school system. I've been into, every area of their life. And one thing that I see that is kind of synonymous in our communities is a lack of accountability. Like a kid will go to school, right? Yeah. Do something that they know is wrong, but won't just refuse to accept the punishment for the behavior that they themselves admitted to doing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that make it worse. They call mom and them, and they come to the school and do the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that behavior is just reinforced where, yeah, I did something wrong, but I don't think I should be punished for that.
I don't even think it's, I did something wrong. It's straight into the I shouldn't be punished for that.
Yeah.
Like they don't even acknowledge the fact that I definitely did break the rule.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I ain't trying to tell nobody how to raise their kids. But when mine go to school and act up, do something wrong, don't study for a test and fail the test, and then expect me to come and bail them out, I feel like I don't want you to have an unrealistic expectation of life.
Definitely.
Because that's not how life is. In life, you don't get to mess up and then somebody come and bail you out.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to cultivate that way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that, sometimes we need to have conversations like this so that people can see that pattern of behavior, recognize it as dysfunctional, and try to do something different.
Yeah. One of the things I see a lot is self-fulfilling prophecies. Like when a person has an expectation of an outcome and it makes that outcome a whole lot more likely.
Okay, give me an example of that.
I saw a study that these kids were in the classroom, right? And they labeled all the kids as gifted or regular.
Okay.
So at the end of the 6 weeks, they tracked their scores, and the kids labeled gifted did better on all the tests than the regular kids.
Okay.
But the reason why is because of the teacher's expectation for them to do better.
What about the kids' expectation?
They didn't know they was labeled.
Oh, okay.
The only
okay.
people that knew was the teachers.
Okay.
So the teachers gave the kids that was labeled gifted more opportunities to succeed.
Yeah.
They pushed them harder. They had higher expectations for them. They accepted nothing but best effort from them because they felt like they had the potential.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They had the expectation for them to succeed.
Okay.
Another example I think of is in dating.
I was
If you go into a dating situation with doubts and thinking about what the worst case scenario could possibly be, your behavior subconsciously reflects that expectation, and you make that negative outcome, whatever that thing is that you that afraid of, you make it that much more likely to happen.
That's funny you said that. I had a real similar situation. I don't even know how I knew this chick, but I knew her well enough to where she was telling me about what was going on in her dating life and stuff, right? And she was telling me that she was really, really trying her best to avoid getting hurt again. That was her thing. She didn't want to be heartbroken again, right?
Yeah.
So she put everybody that she met through this strenuous screening process.
Yeah.
in hopes to weed out all of the bad apples, and the person that's left standing was gonna be like this, stand-up guy, right? So what ended up happening was the person that was left standing wasn't the best guy. He was just the most resilient. He was the one that was willing to put up with the most shit. And the good guys, the guys that was actually a catch, was like, I'm sick of this shit and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So what she ended up doing was putting herself further away from that goal of not being hurt. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, reaching that goal. But if she was just, in my opinion, if she was just genuinely her and was getting to know these people without a preconceived notion or like a hidden agenda of screening them, I think she would have naturally picked up on some cues and some red flags and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm avoid this dude. This dude seemed like a pretty good guy. Instead of having like a, a manipulative approach towards it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely have seen some of that. I've also seen like in weight loss, right? And this is go back to one of my points. Self-sabotaging behavior. You want to lose weight, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to do the things, make the necessary sacrifices to make the weight, come off naturally. So you go and get a quick fix or take a pill or, whatever. But then you start gaining weight because the body is having a reaction to the fact that you tried to take a shortcut. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your body is probably smarter than you think. Definitely. If you ain't, putting forth the necessary effort, and you doing things that you thinking is a shortcut, is really probably putting you closer, further away from the goal. Exactly.
And another common self-sabotaging behavior is self-medicating. A lot of people self-medicate and take drugs or drink alcohol to kind of dismiss those feelings and those emotions that can kind of push them to be better. So I would say, I'm not saying that self-medicating is always the worst case, but
moderation.
In moderation, like I know a lot of people may drink alcohol or do whatever, but I feel like that is one way that you can self-sabotage. Anything that you overly engage in can be self-sabotaging because you're taking time and you're taking energy out of what you could be doing to become better, and you're forming these routines, these habits that can take away from your productivity. Definitely. So to me, I would say that is one of the most common things ever is addiction. So that's something that we really don't talk about, but it's important to address in our community today. Yes. Like it is.
It definitely is, and it's another thing that like we talk about all the time on here. You gotta know better to do better. Yeah. When you grow up in an environment where that's what you see and that's what you know, you don't even realize or recognize that as self-medicating or self-sabotaging behaviors, because it's like, that's just what I'm used to.
Even with negativity, having a negative outlook on life, that is something that a lot of us have been subjected to just by default, just by us being, like you said, in those environments.
Give us an example, Ms. Tierra.
I would say
how a negative attitude can like have a negative outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like what's bad about having a negative attitude?
When you have a negative attitude about things, you're definitely sabotaging yourself because you're going in the situation already looking at it wrong. You're looking at the situation like, okay, I know this and this and this can go wrong. Like they say, some people see the glass half empty, some people see it half full. Mm-hmm. Some people see the best in things, and some people just see the worst in things. And I think since the beginning of our culture, even as African Americans, we have more of a negative outlook on life than any race. You get what I'm saying? So
man, we've been abused.
We've been through a lot. So it's kind of hard to look at situations like, okay, I can get that loan. Okay, I can buy that car. I can get that job. I can start this business. It's hard to get those things rolling and to pull that little faith out of you because you don't really see that happening like that. And the people that you see are in these positions, they don't really give that information. So I feel like I'm glad we're doing this topic about self-sabotaging because a lot of people don't even understand that it's okay for the next person to look at you and pass judgment, or but you gotta focus on what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Focus on the things that you feel like can make you a better person. If it feel right to you, then go for it. But sometimes other people can kind of get in the way, and that's why relationships, like you said, parents, family, just generational curses, period, can get in the way of your success and you becoming an all-around happy person.
Man, that positive outlook is huge, man, and I definitely think it's a cultural component to it. And it is definitely self-sabotaging, because I can't tell you how many times I heard somebody say, man, I ain't gonna be able to do that, I'm gonna go on and do this.
Yeah.
Or even the clients that I work with, man, I try to get them to see, like, once you get off probation or once you get out of this situation, you can turn your life around and everything is going to be good. Nah, man, this is just me. I'm just, this is just who I am.
Because they go to prison, and when you go into prison, when you get in these, in this environment, they teaching you to not be anything. They're going to embed that negative attitude in your mind because they don't want you to really rise above it. So that's you made a good point too. It's a lot of people who have records. There's a lot of people who have battled addiction. It's a lot of people who have failed. But at the end of the day, you can still push forward. It's still some positive out of life. If you still living,
tomorrow is a new day.
Yeah, today is a new day. Every day is a new day for you to overcome everything. So
definitely. So I guess we at the place now, man, like, what do we do to rectify this situation? I had a few suggestions.
I did too.
What's your suggestion?
One of the things that I see a lot is like being scared of hard work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think it's a stigma around hard work. I don't think hard work is bad if it's something that you're interested in. It's going to be something that you enjoy doing. We all know a person who works harder at not doing nothing than they would be if they was actually doing their job.
Definitely.
Even in our community, if somebody is bragging on their job and you say, like, what do you do all day? Nothing. I get paid for doing nothing. Like, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
That's being praised now. To take the easy route out of life when it's really, when the hard work is what really pays off.
Even when people is getting like these disability checks, they work so hard to keep the disability check. They might as well went to work.
You might as well get you a job, bro.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what I was gonna say is accountability. Like, when it's actually a term for that though. It's something about destination something. I'm gonna look it up. But one of the things that we have a hard time with, I think, in our community when it comes to that is, like, the process is something that you can engage in and fall in love with. It don't have to be the destination.
The results.
Exactly, the results.
Instant gratification is what people really.
I was talking to this chick. I don't even know where I was at, but she was super overweight, bro. Like, super overweight. And she was like, yeah, man. She was like, man, I'm just gonna go in and get this surgery, man. I was like, if they don't turn you around at the door, like, they need to, because
I told y'all they got problems with the surgery. I told y'all.
Well, it's not just the. I will give you an example. I'll give you another example. Alternate
Self-sabotaging.
Because, like, we talking about the process. That's so. If she goes and get a surgery from somebody that will, skip the process and they're gonna cut this fat off of her in an unhealthy way, then that's gonna eventually put her in a place where she's either unhealthy or going back to get something else. So it's a self-sabotaging behavior in the long run.
Yeah.
But what I guess what I was trying to get at is the process of whatever you're trying to get to is gonna be more of a, that's gonna take longer than the destination.
Yeah, and there's value in that.
It's value in
the process.
Definitely. It's definitely value in the process. I had a dude one time ask me, he was like, bro, what are you training for? You work out every day. What are you training for?
You gotta be.
Yeah, like, are you about to go to the league? Are you a wrestler? Are you what are you? I was like, I'm training for life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm training because I don't want to get fat, for one.
Yeah.
For another thing, I want to be healthy. I want to have a healthy heart. You know what I'm saying? My lungs, I need them to be right too.
Yeah.
Well, mine is failure to self-reflect. That's a big one. I feel like some people, I'm not about me. you can become worried about the wrong things in life, and that takes away from your self-reflection. The only thing you need to really reflect on and worry about ultimately is your well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we pour too much into other people. So if you're busy judging other people, you busy worrying about what the next person doing, competing, and competition is self-sabotage too. I feel like you sabotage yourself when you do that. But failure to self-reflect and to figure out what exactly it is that you want to do or the goals that you want to set can stand in the way as well. So I feel like self-reflection is a very important key factor to not self-sabotaging yourself.
Definitely. I think a key factor to help get rid of self-sabotage is self-awareness.
Yeah.
Like get in tune with yourself. Know what you're good at so that when you do try something, you have a greater success rate because it's something that's compatible with your personality, your strengths and weaknesses. And how can you do that? Get yourself a therapist.
Yes, you can get yourself a therapist.
Most definitely, because a therapist going to do those motivational interviews.
Yes, and that's my style of therapy. I really love motivational interviewing. I like to motivate my clients because most of the time, as you hear and you listen to your clients, they're telling you the problems. They're telling you exactly what they want to work on. They're telling you exactly what they feel like they don't like about themselves. So it's like, okay, now all I could do for you is motivate you to reach those goals. And that's why it's important to, like what you said, Terrell, to set goals for yourself. Mm-hmm. And a therapist can push you to your limits to become all that you could be without mediocrity.
We gotta be honest with ourselves too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest with ourselves and tell ourselves every day, if you do got a goal or you getting in your own way of some things, you gotta be honest and say, hey, that was something that was definitely counter to what I'm trying to do right now.
Yes.
So I had a lapse, I had a step back. But sometimes a step back is a setup for a step forward. So
and to understand that self-sabotage behavior is normal and it's something that we all deal with. You know what I mean? It's like we all doubt ourselves from time to time. We all go into situations with negative expectations and make that outcome that we so afraid of, make it that much more likely to happen. So I think it's important to have the awareness to just catch yourself when you do find yourself slipping into one of these self-sabotaging behaviors.
Procrastination is one of them too.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. Because I feel like sometimes that's one of my self-sabotaging behaviors. What is one of yours?
I do a lot of that, the procrastinating thing. I hate to admit this out loud, but I justify most of the stuff I do wrong.
Well, no, you can't say you hate to admit it.
In my head, like I can make that shit make sense. Like, I normally have good intentions, so even if I mess up or do something wrong, in my head I'll make it sound better. Yeah. But that's not good to do either, because what you're doing is you skewing the reality of the situation, and that makes it more likely for you to repeat that behavior. So definitely a little.
What's one of your self-sabotaging behaviors?
Probably the self-fulfilling prophecy one, coming into things with trying to prepare myself for the worst case scenario. And saying, dang, okay, this could possibly happen now.
Yeah.
So be ready for
it. If it happens, I ain't gonna be caught off guard by no bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal. Everything we listed is normal, and that's just a part of us as human beings. We go through these phases of life, but ultimately, it's about knowing exactly what you need to work on. Like you said, being accountable, just pressing forward, having that faith of knowing and believing in yourself and never giving up.
Yeah, and getting to know yourself too. Get that self-awareness up.
Definitely find out who you are as a person.
Some interests, what is those?
Little vision boards.
And affirmations. Self-affirmations.
Affirmations too. But no, I'm saying when you like interest assessments is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it rates your personality and say what you would be good at. Like, have you ever never seen that?
Personality testing.
Personality.
I got a journal coming soon that I'm about to drop real quick.
Or you gonna plug the journal?
I'm gonna get y'all going with the journals. It's coming soon. I can't really speak on it, but yeah, I feel like that's a good thing. Writing it down every day, looking, viewing it, getting those senses rolling, and you ready for it. You gotta claim it if you want it. Claim it and don't look back.
I don't know if you guys picked up on this little bit of an underlying thing, but we are all mental health therapists. So if at any point you feel like you need some support and you don't want to go through our Rewired Instagram page, you can direct message myself. My personal Instagram is tepsauce37. But yeah, I don't have a problem answering your questions or even setting you up with therapy if that's what you're interested in.
And mine is Tiara Leanne, TIEARALEEANN on Instagram.
And I am KingTep87 on Instagram.
We definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in.
And you have been
Rewired.